Sometimes greatness comes with no reward. You drop 40, 50, even 60, and the only thing waiting is silence in the locker room. These are the top 5 greatest playoff performances that ended in a loss, from stars who did everything and still walked off with nothing. Number 5, Devin Booker, 42 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Game 4, 2021 NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 4 of the 2021 Finals. The Phoenix Suns were up 2-1. Devin Booker, just 24 years old, was in the middle of a superstar breakout. And on this night in Milwaukee, he gave the Bucks everything they could handle. Booker dropped 42 points on 60% shooting. He was in his bag from the mid-range, pull-ups from the elbow, fadeaways over Drew Holiday, curling off screens like vintage Rip Hamilton. In the third quarter alone, he scored 18 points, almost single-handedly keeping Phoenix alive. But the story wasn't just Booker's brilliance. It was the collapse around him. Chris Paul had one of his worst playoff games ever. 10 points, 5 turnovers, and missed open shots down the stretch. Then came the block. With under a minute left, the Suns down 2. Booker dished to DeAndre Ayton on a roll. Giannis Antetokounmpo met him at the summit and threw down one of the greatest defensive plays in NBA history. The Bucks won 109-103. They went on to win the next 2 games and take the championship in 6. Booker's 42 on the road was the most by a Suns player ever in the finals, and it ended in heartbreak. That loss wasn't on him. He cooked, but like so many before him, the moment slipped away. Booker faced relentless defense from Drew Holiday, one of the league's best stoppers, and still got buckets at will. In the fourth quarter, he scored 10 of Phoenix's 21 points. But his heroics were undone by mistakes, including a controversial missed call where he fouled Drew late but didn't foul out. After the game, Booker was calm but frustrated. "We had it. We just didn't execute," he said. Chris Paul took responsibility for his turnovers, but it was clear Booker had carried them. This performance proved Devin Booker wasn't just a scorer anymore. He was a playoff star. Even in defeat, he showed he belonged under the brightest lights. Number 4, Dirk Nowitzki, 30 points, 7 rebounds. Game 3, 2006 NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. The Mavericks were up 2-0 in the 2006 Finals. Game 3 in Miami was their chance to bury the Heat. Dirk Nowitzki came out aggressive, posting 30 points and 7 rebounds. With 6 minutes left in the fourth, Dallas led by 13. Then the collapse began. Dwayne Wade went nuclear. The Heat closed on a 22-7 run. Josh Howard missed crucial free throws. Jason Terry turned it over, and Dirk, he missed a clutch free throw that could have tied the game. Final score, Heat 98, Mavericks 96. That game flipped the series. The Heat never looked back, winning 4 straight to take the title. Dirk's numbers look good. 11 of 22 from the field, several big shots in the second half, but that missed free throw haunted him for years. It became the defining blemish on his early career. It wasn't just a loss. It was a narrative shift. From MVP-level scorer to soft European star. Dirk carried that stain until redemption in 2011. But Game 3, 2006, that one stung the most. Dirk's game was methodical. Mid-post fadeaways, smooth touch from the top of the key, perfect footwork. He kept Dallas ahead until the Heat stormed back. When Miami surged, the Mavericks got tight, settled for jumpers. Dirk missed a critical shot late, then clanked that free throw to tie at 97. Dirk later admitted, "I thought about that miss every day for years." The 2006 Finals became the Wade and Shaq coronation. Dirk wouldn't silence doubters until 5 years later, against Miami again. Number 3, Kevin Durant, 48 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Game 7, 2021 Eastern Conference Semifinals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 7, Barclays Center. Kevin Durant out there with no Kyrie Irving and a hobbled James Harden. And what he did that night was historic. Durant scored 48 points, the most ever in a Game 7. He played all 53 minutes, didn't sit once, hit shots that defied physics, fading left with two defenders draped over him, 1 foot barely planted, bucket. With seconds left in regulation, down 2, KD hit a miraculous turnaround jumper that looked like a 3, but his toe was on the line. Tie game, overtime. In OT, he finally looked human. Airballed the potential game winner after carrying the entire offense for 5 straight games. The Bucks escaped 115-111 and went on to win the title. But KD's performance wasn't forgotten. He averaged 35 points that series on 50% shooting against the eventual champs. Every player, coach, and analyst praised it as one of the most heroic losing efforts ever. Durant didn't fail. His shoe size did. From the start, he was in his bag. Mid-range pull-ups, drives, drawing fouls. He had 30 by the end of the third and willed Brooklyn through fatigue and failure. James Harden, on one hamstring, was a shell of himself. Joe Harris couldn't hit water from a boat. KD had no help, but still kept them alive. Coach Steve Nash said afterward, "What he did tonight was unfathomable. One of the best games I've ever seen." Even Giannis, who dropped 40 himself, called Durant the best player in the world. KD didn't choke. He didn't fold. He just ran out of clock. And inches. Number 2, Michael Jordan. 63 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Game 2, 1986 first round against the Boston Celtics. Before he was his airness, Michael Jordan was a 23-year-old killer from North Carolina, walking into Boston Garden with no fear. The Bulls were an 8 seed. The Celtics were 67-win monsters. Bird, McHale, Parrish, DJ, Ainge. The whole crew. Jordan had dropped 49 in Game 1, but it wasn't enough. So in Game 2, he turned it up further. 63 points. On the road, against the best defense in the league. Jumpers, layups, fadeaways. 19 trips to the free throw line. No three-point line needed. Just pure buckets. The game went to double overtime. Chicago was right there, but didn't have the horses. The Celtics edged them 135-131. After the game, Larry Bird said, "That was God disguised as Michael Jordan." The Bulls were swept, but Jordan's legend was born. That night remains the most points ever scored in a playoff game. Jordan shot 22 of 41 from the field and 19 of 21 from the line. Unmatched efficiency against a legendary defense. And he did it coming off a broken foot, having played just 18 regular season games that year. This was supposed to be a tune-up series, but Jordan had other plans. Bill Walton said afterward, "We threw everything at him. Double teams, traps, it didn't matter. Chicago lost, but that night, everyone in Boston knew the kid was different." Number 1, LeBron James. 51 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Game 1, 2018 NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors. This was the game that broke the internet. LeBron James walked into Oracle Arena and delivered one of the greatest performances in basketball history. 51 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists against a 73-win core with Kevin Durant added to it. He shot 19 for 32 from the field, hit dagger threes, took charges, ran the offense, defended. He had 49 points with 4 minutes left in the fourth and tied the game with a 3-point play over Steph Curry. He was in full control. Then George Hill missed a free throw. J.R. Smith grabbed the rebound and forgot the score. Instead of a game-winning shot or timeout, he dribbled out the clock in a tie game. LeBron's reaction became a meme. His frustration said it all. In overtime, the Cavs collapsed. The Warriors blew it open and won 124 to 114. LeBron sat on the bench in disbelief. He had done everything and still lost. After the game, reports surfaced that he punched a whiteboard in frustration, fracturing his hand. Even with that injury, he finished the series averaging 34 points, 10 assists, and 8.5 rebounds. Game 1 of the 2018 Finals remains the gold standard for greatness in a loss, because it wasn't just a stat line, it was a one-man stand against the unbeatable, and it deserved better. LeBron scored every way imaginable. Fadeaways over Klay Thompson, downhill drives at Durant, threes off screens. He even took 2 charges from KD on the other end. At one point, Jeff Van Gundy said, "This might be the greatest finals game I've ever witnessed." Nobody disagreed. What made it tragic was how close Cleveland was. The Warriors were on the ropes. If J.R. Smith doesn't forget the score, if George Hill hits that free throw, the Cavs steal Game 1 and change the whole series. Instead, they got swept. LeBron dislocated a finger in Game 2 and finished the series basically alone. But that Game 1, that was basketball majesty. Years later, even Warriors fans admit it. Bron should have had that one. 5 legendary games, 5 unforgettable efforts, and 5 crushing losses. Some say stats don't matter if you don't win, but these games prove otherwise. Drop your favorite in the comments. And if you missed part 1, go check it out. Like, comment, and subscribe, because sometimes the loss is louder than the win.